Mitch Marsh in 2023 was awarded Australian cricket's most prestigious prize, the Allan Border Medal, recognising him as the most outstanding cricketer of the year. Mitch has represented his country in 41 tests, 89 one-day internationals, 54 T20 internationals, and the Marsh family are sporting royalty in Australia. His dad, Jeff, and brother, Sean, both played more than 100 internationals for Australia, and his sister, Melissa, is a Western Australian Basketball Hall of Fame. Mitch, it's great to see you. How are you?
Yeah, very well, Das. Thanks for having me on here.
Well, congratulations, mate. It's been an unbelievably successful time. You're part of the team that retained the Ashes. You won the One Day International World Cup in India in the most incredible style, one of the great sporting wins in recent history, the World Test Championship. And in that time, as I said, you were the Allan Border medalist. You must be really proud.
Yeah, it's certainly been an incredible, couple of years for this team. We're very lucky. We've got a lot of experienced players that have played a lot of cricket for Australia, and I think the last 18 months with the trophies that we've won, it's all accumulated into that, and it's been a real pleasure to be a part of it.
And Mitch, one of my favourite quotes, and I wanted to run this past you. Oscar Wilde said, "Be yourself. Everyone else is already taken." And when I look at you, that's exactly what I think of, someone who's absolutely themselves. I want to play back a little bit of your speech from the Allan Border Medal night. Have a listen to this.
But I'd like to pay particular thank yous to Ronnie and Paddy. You believed in me, and I don't really know. I can't thank you enough for just believing in me. And I'm a bit fat at times, and I love a beer, but but you see the best in me always, and you've changed my life. So for your support, Paddy, and your leadership, playing under you is an absolute dream. So thank you very much.
Mitch, it was beautiful to me. There were tears, there were humour, and as I said, you just being authentically you. Have you always been that comfortable in your own skin?
Absolutely not. Is the truthful answer to that. I think it certainly took me a while to find my feet. Playing cricket at the highest level from a young age, and I guess being on a little bit of a journey as to finding out who I am as a person, and being able to separate that person as a cricketer. And I think the last probably 18 months, those two have come together. And I've had, my best probably 2 years of cricket, and most certainly the best 2 years of my life.
And that's just a brilliant thing that I want to ask you more about, isn't it? That often we're trying to be something that we're not, and then you're always probably living an uncomfortable life there. Can you describe more of that? Did you feel like you had to be a certain type of person? And now that you are just the relaxed, chilled, authentic cat that you probably always have been, that's been the happiest time.
Yeah, I think I've certainly been the best version of myself, and I've grown into that. But I think, as a young kid, and I feel like a lot of young athletes, and people in general, go down this road. But when I first started playing cricket, when cricket was going well, I was the king. And when it wasn't going well, I was not down in the dumps, but I really battled, and a lot of that came with, I guess, not being able to deal with failure, and understanding what failure looks like for me and how I get better in those situations. And there's certainly times I would get into a bit of a rut, and I'd do a lot of work on the mental side of my game to get to a point where I was not necessarily okay with failure, but understanding that I'm going to fail, and working out ways to prepare as best as I possibly can to give myself the opportunity for a great outcome. And if that doesn't happen, then end of the game, I can look myself in the mirror and say, well, I've done everything I can, and that's okay. And I think detaching myself from the outcome allowed me to review better, to move on to the next game or to the next ball. It's been a really cool journey.
I'm curious about more of that. As you said, if we're all outcome focused and make 100 and life's great, and if you get it done, then you're going to fall into a hole. How did you get the skill set to do that? Did you seek out some professional help with that to, as you said, let the outcome sort itself out? I'll just go and be the best I can be. Is there anyone that helped you in that space?
Yeah, I had some great people in my corner. I think, when I every young kid who starts playing for Australia, you've all got a dream that you're going to finish your career averaging 50 with 25 Test hundreds, and for me, maybe 100 wickets. Although bowling's too hard. And when it doesn't pan out that straight away, I didn't necessarily know how to deal with that. As I said before, I had some great people in my corner, Matty Bergen, Michael Lloyd, who two great psychologists that worked for Cricket Australia and WA Cricket at the time, helped me a lot with, I guess, detaching myself from the outcome and not letting cricket define me as a human being. And I guess going through that journey of, I said before, preparing as well as I can for every game, trying to get better, trying to keep improving, but understanding that if I fail, I can still be a great husband, I can still be a good family man, and not letting that eat away at me. And I think I've found that really nice balance now over the last couple of years where I still love competing. I still love winning games for Cricket for Australia and Western Australia when I'm there. But ultimately, the most important thing for me is being a good husband, looking after my family and enjoying, I guess, the fruits of the labour outside of cricket and, enjoying life.
Yeah, and I can just a smile from ear to ear, Mitch, when you're around, and you've become that person in Australian sport where everyone you want to be around and be like Mitch Marsh, and it's incredible. It's great to see, and you look at spending 4 years out of the Test side, and that must have been incredibly challenging because I'm sure deep down you thought, I know I'm good enough. I know if they give me another opportunity. Can you tell us about how challenging that time was?
I think at the time when I was dropped and I was out of the team, it was probably the best thing for me. And at the time, you're almost at a point where I'd failed so much as a Test batsman that I knew it was time for me to, I guess, reset and try and start the journey of getting back. I didn't think it would take me 4 years, but it did. So it was a long time, and I'd be lying if I said there was times where I thought I was done, and I actually got to a point where I accepted that I was probably never going to play Test match cricket again. And in a way, that probably helped me. I really started to enjoy my cricket again, and there wasn't this element of waking up every day just trying to chase something that was probably out of my reach at certain times. So, it's been an incredible journey. I've to just get that one more crack at it, which I said to a few people in my close circle that I was okay if I never played again, but gee, I just wanted to have one more crack at it. And I guess the last 9 tests have been thoroughly enjoyable, and I certainly don't take any of them for granted now.
And now I'm sitting here talking to Mitch Marsh, the Allan Border medalist, alongside the all-time greats of the game who've won that prestigious award and recently announced the ICC T20 World Cup captain for Australia. I mean, it's an amazing, isn't it, trajectory to go through, maybe thinking that you'd never play Test match cricket again for Australia, and now you're sitting here as the captain. Congratulations. You must, again, feel really proud.
Yeah, it's immensely proud. The opportunity to captain Australia at a World Cup is something that I never thought I'd do. I'm extremely grateful for the people that we've got around us in the team at the moment, and some of the other leaders within our group that will hopefully make the job easy. It's not always going to be easy, but got some great people around me, and I dare say I've probably been a reluctant captain at times because I just love playing and getting around the lads. But I think my style and who I am as a person, I feel really comfortable that I'm going to lead the group my way and be myself. And that's one of the biggest things I've learned about leadership.
And Mitch, you referenced Pat Cummins in your Allan Border medal speech and the influence that he's had on you. And again, I love that you're now saying, I feel comfortable because I'm comfortable in who I am. Can you tell us about Pat's influence on you and your style as a captain? Yeah,
look, well, Paddy and I go back a long way now. We first toured for Australia. Our first tour was together. I was 19. Paddy was about 12 at that time. It feels like that anyway. So
in South Africa?
In South Africa, yep. And we instantly became great friends, and I've watched Paddy's journey as a leader over the last couple of years very closely, and just so proud of the way he's gone about it. And he's taught me probably the most about staying true to yourself and your values, and staying the course as a leader. So I'm looking forward to working closely with him. We're great mates, and as I said, we've got a lot of great leaders within our team that make it a lot of fun.
And Mitch, we've been incredibly privileged to collaborate with you in a space that we call Aleda in our Aleda Connect program. We curate groups of 5 to 6 people, often around the country or even around the globe. And you've got a really fascinating group of other sporting legends. Paddy Cripps is in your group, a Brownlow medalist from Carlton. Daly Cherry Evans is a superstar of the NRL, Jiva mentor, world class in her field, Tess Madgen, the Australian basketball captain. Can you tell us a bit about what that's been like sitting amongst that group on a monthly basis?
Yeah, look, it was something that Pat had done. He had a few groups, and he mentioned that it would be worthwhile me getting stuck in and getting involved. And I've had the best time. It's a great group of people that I was involved with. It probably took us two sessions to really open up and get to know each other, and then what I love most about it is formed a real connection with the group to the point now where you just bounce ideas off each other and learn. It's something that I've looked forward to. Every session it's got better and better, and I just had the best time.
And Mitch, I understand that, again, you're that great connector. I think you've been authentically you is just something that pours out. Is that even in a group that you perhaps hadn't had the experience with before? Do you find it easy, again, to sort of show up and share the way that you do?
Yeah, I mean, the whole connection piece is a really important thing for me in anything I do in my life. My family, my friends, my teams, and now my leader crew. I certainly opened up as we went along. Yeah, a few little gags, and I got a few laughs every now and then, which was good. Stace was always my number one. She gave me a few laughs, which was good. But just got a real connection. And look, that crew now, I'll catch up with them for forever, wherever I'm in Sydney or Melbourne or now England for Jiva. I've got some great friends there.
Mitch, you've grown up in an era as a professional athlete where the world of social media provides incredible opportunities and also incredible challenges at the same time. How have you navigated that and handled it? It feels like an issue that every young kid's dealing with, and you're about to be a parent yourself. But is it something that you've got a handle on, and can you describe how you've thought about it?
I mean, yeah, as a young kid, it was something that I battled with. I took a lot of it personally. I at times I took that out in the field with me, the fact that I wanted to prove people wrong. And that mentality works for some people, but I realised that it didn't work for me, and it took me away from what I was actually good at. And took me away from actually just competing on the field. And that's when I play my best cricket. So I've learned not to take that personally. I respect that in the world of social media, everyone's got an opinion, and they're allowed for that. Some go overboard, and there's a lot of people out there that deal with worse than me. But I get a lot of love these days, which is also nice.
And I
did the hard yards.
It's a story of your life, Mitch, isn't it? You've battled through. I understand you had a great gatekeeper. Your sister Melissa used to fire back on behalf of the Marsh family from time to time. Is that true?
Yeah, I said in my my Allan Border medal speech that if anyone's ever abused me on social media, that my sister will find them eventually and get them. So she's a very protective sister, and we got a great relationship.
Can you tell us a bit about growing up in the Marsh family? I grew up when your dad was the opening batsman for Australia, and we idolised him and what a legend he was. And Sean had such an incredible career. And mentioned your sister's sporting exploits, and I love it when you're, I'm out there in the middle, and we pan back, and you might see Dad having a beer, and Sean's next to him. And can you tell us a bit? Did you initially feel the pressure of all that, or just the support overwhelms any of the pressure?
Yeah, I just had incredible support. I think all of the pressure came externally, and that's a given. I guess when you come in as a young kid and your father's played cricket for Australia and your brother's currently playing cricket for Australia, there's a lot of expectation externally, but my dad's just my dad, and my brother's my brother, and my sister's my sister. It's that's all I see them as, and I often joke with Dad that if I can't sleep at night, I just put on his highlights and I fall straight to sleep. So, um, so there's plenty of banter. There's plenty of banter within the family.
I love it. One of the all-time greats, Jeff Marsh, and maybe not as free-flowing as his youngest son.
Certainly not. Sorry, Dad.
Mitch, I remember meeting you as a 17-year-old, and you were a big full forward for Western Australia. Potentially going to play for Australia at under 18 level. You were a WA state player as an AFL, and you were a big bison even as a 17-year-old. Was there any chance that AFL football was going to take your heart, or was cricket always going to win?
I love footy, and like most kids, I played cricket in the summer and footy in the winter, and I played the state under 16s, and then I was a bottom age at 18s. So I still had another year until I sort of had to make that decision, re-footy. But I think deep down it was always cricket. I remember going to the AIS for a camp, and Nathan Buckley was one of my mentors. And I had a typical cricketer's body. I was a bit sloppy. And these kids at the time were getting ready to be drafted. They'd done a full pre-season. They're ready to go. And Buck sat me down at the cafeteria at AIS, and he said, "Do you like chocolate?" And clearly baiting me, and I didn't realise at the time, and I just said, "Oh, mate, I love chocolate. Love it." And he said to me, "Well, I haven't eaten chocolate in 10 years. That's the sort of discipline you need if you're going to be an AFL footballer." And right then and there, it was cricket, mate.
There's an intensity about Nathan Buckley. That doesn't surprise me, but maybe he might have learnt how to celebrate from you, Mitch,
exactly.
well, which is a lesson to learn. I love asking these questions because we think that success leaves clues, and I love your story. It's such a unique, authentic story that you've carved your own path out to great success. And we think it's hard to lead anyone else. You're about to captain Australia without a sense of self-leadership. What does that mean to you to lead yourself first?
The most important thing for me is just staying true to who I am, looking after my people, which within cricket is the team, and creating an environment where people feel really trusted to just to do their thing. And within our team, that's been one of the biggest things that's led us to success. And I think that starts with me. You got to lead that yourself, and stay true to yourself.
Mitch, we see people who are successful consistently are really conscious about the impact they have on others in their environment. You play in that tight-knit team that travels around the world, and you're constantly having an impact on each other all the time. How have you gone about that?
I think it's really down to relationships. We're all here for different reasons. We all have different family backgrounds, come from different cultures within our group, and I guess having relationships with everyone and that are meaningful, and understanding who they are. So I guess that when they're under pressure, the person and not just the cricketer, and try and get the best out of people. So I'm new into this role as a leader within our team, but I've learned from so many great people like Paddy and like Andrew McDonald. Relationships are so important.
And Mitch, I'm assuming you don't win the World Cup, you don't win the World Test Championship or retain the Ashes without a really clear vision around what you and your team are trying to achieve. We're curious about how you go about creating and sharing that vision, particularly in your role now.
Yeah, I think cricket throws a lot of challenges at you. We play a lot of different conditions. We travel to different cultures. Some places are hot, some places are cold. So every tour looks different for us. But we sit down at the start of every tour, and we speak about what we want the tour to look like and feel like as a group, and we all commit to that. So that brings freshness to our group. Every tour is a little bit different. The core things around trust and looking after your mates is vitally important, but that's brought a real freshness to each tour for us. And I think we travel pretty much 12 months of the year now. We play all year round. So for people to start fresh every tour and come together, it's worked really well for us.
So going into the T20 World Cup and you're captain, you'll really have a clear project and mission, and this is how we want to create the environment. We've got some similarities from other experiences, but it's a really different setup for every challenge that you want to face. Is that the sort of detail you get into?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, the other thing too is keeping it really simple. We've got a really experienced group now, and it's about trusting guys that are going to prepare really well. We've got guys that will come in from the IPL later than some. We'll give them a few days at home, but it's understanding that we'll come together. And tournament play is about peaking at the right time. So we'll hopefully build in the World Cup and get to the pointy end.
Which we see people who have the sort of success we're talking to you about are really curious, and through curiosity, they're constantly trying to get better. Are you a curious type of person?
Yes, I am. For me, it was more, I guess, the mental side for me rather than like the skill stuff. I'm always striving to get better, and there's always areas and different shots that you can play to get better. But for me, it was about I really needed to work on learning to deal with failure and being really present. So the curiosity side for me within cricket's been around my breathing during games, staying calm. If I play a false shot, moving on to the next ball straight away and forgetting the rest of it, and done a lot of work in that space to hopefully be able to stand up there with a trophy in a couple of months' time.
Looks like you've got it in a great place. Communicating really clearly is another dimension we love talking about, and again, you seem to have your own authentic style. I love this. Why I wanted to play the speech at the start, because it made all of us smile that have followed you closely, and it was off script, and it was you being you. Have you thought about it, Mitch, or is it just being authentic?
Well, yeah, that speech was I was unplanned. I certainly knew there was people I wanted to thank, but probably got away from me a little bit, but a few tears and a few laughs. That's all you need when you're speaking. I think, communicating. I think that's one of the biggest challenges as a leader is communicating things that everyone resonates with, and I think with an experienced group like ours, a lot of guys just need to do their thing and they don't need to listen. But there's a certain percentage of guys that like to be communicated with, and for cricket, it's about being really clear with your communication and plans with bowlers. And then being with batters, it's just about being really clear on their role and allowing them to express themselves. So it's a hallmark of our team. And Andrew McDonald's one of the best communicators I've ever had, and we're lucky to have him as a head coach.
Can you give us a bit on that? I just find that with him, he's really consistent with it, and that helps the team. Is there any specific things that he does that you can share?
I think he's got a great ability to leave emotion out of high pressure situations when he's communicating with you. For me over the last 2 years, I've never been clearer as to what my role is within the team when I'm batting, and also it's always been communicated to just be myself, and that's allowed me personally to have some of the best cricketing years of my life, and there's plenty of other examples of that within our team. So strong, clear communication is probably the most important thing that I've learnt.
You mentioned some of the collaborations that you had with the mental skills coaches at Cricket Australia, and your great friendship with Pat Cummings. How important has collaboration been for you?
Oh, it's vital. Just learning, building relationships with people and opening doors has been one of the biggest things. And I guess that's probably something that I was reluctant at doing earlier on. I sort of stayed in my own lane, but now I've realised that the more I can learn off others and take snippets from to build a better team around me is it's been really cool. And like I said before, my group with the Aleda Connect team was just some of the great people, and there's no doubt that they're all playing in really successful teams.
And I understand there may be an international collaboration that you're going to join on the Aleda Connect front as well, Mitch, is what I hear.
Yeah, so Stace gave me a call, and before she even told me the group I was already in, I've just I've just loved it. It's given me, being on the road as well gives me a bit of purpose outside of just being on the road for cricket and having something to look forward to every couple of weeks. So I'm stepping into. I've got a few NBA player, EPL player, basketball player, and one other I can't remember. I'm very fresh. It's only a couple of days, so can't wait for that. And I think I'll have a few early wake ups, but hey, once you're in, you're in.
I love your attitude, Mitch. Who's been the greatest leader in your life?
I've been extremely blessed to play under, to have great role models within my life. I mean, my dad is someone that I've got a great relationship with, and Dad's a little bit old school in a sense that he's not a big talker, but all of his actions that he's instilled into me around looking after people, caring for people. It's been one of my, he's the best dad, but one of the best leaders I've ever come across. And I'm grateful to have him in my life.
Pretty lucky start in life, isn't it? Getting that sort of relationship, isn't it, with your dad? And I feel exactly the same. We're a bit obsessed with collaboration, and we talk a lot about inspiring connections and creating a world of collaboration. Mitch, you've got a lot of great passions. I see you out fishing. I see you loving a beer with your mates. I see life looks like a lot of fun. Has there been in any part of your life, it might be cricket, and you thought there's someone you'd like to collaborate on any of the passions in your life? Is there a name that springs to mind?
I'd love to go back to the height of Manchester United with Sir Alex Ferguson and just be a fly on the wall. You hear so many great stories about him being hard, being caring, and just driving this team to ultimate success. I'd love to go back to early 2000s or 90s when United were on a heater, and even just sit down and have a glass of red with him. I met him at a Manchester United game during the Ashes, and the first thing he said to me was, "I hate cricket. It's boring." So I probably got that collaboration wrong there, but he was someone that obviously would be amazing to sit down and talk all things leadership, I guess.
You know where you stand with Sir Alex, don't you? Right off the bat.
Exactly. You hear so many stories about you knew exactly where you stood with Sir Alex. So there you go. Won't be no free tickets for him next Ashes.
and were you a round ball Manchester United fan as a kid? Were you growing up?
Growing up, my brother was big time, so I followed them. I followed them just like so I could stay up with Sean and watch. But I'm more of an AFL man.
Hey, Mitch, I think your life story is a great lesson to me in being authentically yourself, and the path to finding that. It's such a great thing to see someone, as I said earlier, so comfortable in their own skin, and every success that comes your way, you've earned. It's brilliant. I have followed you closely since that early encounter as a 17-year-old. To see you now as captain of Australia is just one of the great success stories of all time. And we wish you all the best. Thanks for joining me today.
Thanks for having me, Das. It's been a pleasure.